Today, what we're going to talk about is going backwards. So what we've been doing the last 2 days is taking a pre-image and going to the image. Now, what if they give us the image and we have to go backwards to figure out what the pre-image was? At the top, we see just the same vocabulary we've been using. Pre-image is the shape before, or the point or shape before transformation. Image is the point or shape afterwards. So here they're going to give us the picture after the transformation, and we need to figure out where it was before. Okay, translation, that's what we're doing here. We're going to be sliding, so sliding it within the coordinate plane. Horizontal translations go left or right. They change the x coordinate. Vertical translations go up or down, change the y coordinate. You can see it written in words, and then we usually put it in the rule in order to find what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to work in reverse to go from the image to the pre-image. Okay, here, I know this is the image because it's got the little primes next to the points. That tells us it's the image. So the pre-image of the right triangle was translated right 3. So that means I took my x coordinate and I added 3. It didn't go up or down at all, so y did not change. Let's go ahead and figure out what these coordinates are for our image. Okay, so a prime, right 6, up 2. B prime is right 2, up 2. C prime is right 2, up 5. Okay, now there's a couple of different ways that we could do this. The way I like to do it is to set it up just like a one-step equation. You've been working on one-step equations this year, so we're just going to apply that. So our rule, if you remember, is xy, and then we add 3 to all of our x's, and y stays the same. If I start with my point A prime at 6, 2, we need to use this, that a plus 3, not a, 8x plus 3, sorry, gave me that image. So if I took the x value of my pre-image and added 3, I got 6. Okay, so think about when we were doing those horizontal transformations before. I took the pre-image x, I added or subtracted whatever that value was to end up at the image. So now we're just working in reverse. Okay, so then we would subtract 3 from both sides to get that x equals 3. Okay, so the x coordinate of A is 3. And then my rule tells me that y does not change. So the y value will be 2. Okay, so A is 3, 2. We're going to do the same thing for B. B prime is 2, 2. So when I took my x value of B and added 3, it ended up at 2. Same thing as A, we're going to solve this one-step equation, subtract 3 from both sides. So x is -1. Just like with A, that x, the y coordinate does not change. So B will be at the point -1, 2. Okay, now we just need to figure out C. C prime is 2, 5. When I took the x coordinate of C and added 3, it equaled 2. Subtract 3 from both sides. That x coordinate is -1. Okay, so C is at the point -1, 5, because that y coordinate does not change. So C is -1, 5. We are now ready to graph our pre-image. Remember, when you're graphing the pre-image, don't put the little primes this time, because that goes for the image, not the pre-image. So A is at 3, 2. Need to label A. B is at -1, 2. C is at -1, 5. Connect the dots. Also, like we did with the last lessons, you could count. So if I know that my A prime coordinate, I added 3, then to get the pre-image, I would go backwards 3. So same thing, however you want to do it. If you're given the graph, you can count. You just have to remember to count in the opposite direction. Okay, so that was a horizontal transformation. Now let's look at finding the pre-image for a vertical translation. It's not going to be any different. So given the image coordinates, the rectangle is translated up 3. Find the pre-image coordinates. Okay, so notice now here, the columns are switched. So the image comes first and the pre-image comes second. We can tell this because the image has the prime marks and the pre-image does not. If our rectangle was translated up 3, X did not change, and Y added 3. Okay, so we're going to do it the same way we did with our horizontal transformation. So A prime was 4, 7. X doesn't change, but when I took my pre-image Y value and added 3, it equaled 7. Make sure you pay super close attention to which one of those coordinates you use. We have to use Y here. When you subtract 3 from both sides, you're going to get that Y is 4. So the point A, X did not change, Y is 4. So A is at 4, 4. We're going to do the same thing for B. B prime is at -3, 7. So when I took my Y value and added 3, it equaled 7. Subtract 3 from both sides. Y is 4. Okay, so my point B is at -3, 4. Okay, so B is -3, 4. 2 more to find. C prime was at 4, -5. So when I took my Y value of the pre-image and added 3, it equaled -5. Solve this one-step equation by subtracting 1 from both sides. So Y equals -8. In my point, the X value does not change, and my Y value is a -8. So C is at 4, -8. Lastly, we have D. So D prime is at -3, -5. When I took my Y value of the pre-image and added 3, it equaled -5. Subtract 3 from both sides. Y equals -8. So the point D was at -3, -8. Okay, so that is a vertical transformation. The last thing we're going to do is if we have a horizontal and a vertical transformation. So our X coordinate and our y coordinate are going to be changed. Okay, so given the image coordinate, the rectangle was translated left 5 and up 4. Find the pre-image coordinates. Okay, so left 5, that means that my x coordinates are going to the left 5, and to go left, we subtract. Now for my y coordinates, to go up 4, we're gonna add 4. In example 1, we did a horizontal transformation or translation, which was x. In 2, we did a vertical translation, which was y. And now we're gonna have to do both of them. Okay, so A prime is 4, 7. Again, notice how just like number 2, these are written in the opposite directions. Okay, so when I took the x value of my pre-image and subtracted 5, it equaled 4. Add 5 to both sides, x is 9. Now we need to figure out y. When I took my y value and added 4, it equaled 7. Subtract 4 from both sides, y equals 3. So the point A is at 9, 3. So not anything harder than what we've been doing, except for now you have to do it for the x coordinate and the y coordinate. Okay, B prime is at -3, 7. So when I took my x value and I subtracted 5, I got -3. Add 5 to both sides, x equals 2. Now we need to do the y. When I took my y coordinate and added 4, it equaled 7. Subtract 4 from both sides, y equals 3. So that means my coordinate B is at 2, 3. So B was 2, 3. 2 points left to go. C prime is 4, -5. So when I took that pre-image value x and subtracted 5, it equals 4. Add 5 to both sides, x equals 9. When I took my pre-image value of y and added 4, it equaled -5. Subtract 4 from both sides, y equals -9. Okay, so the point C is at 9, -9. Okay, so 9, -9. Lastly, we have D prime. D prime is at -3, -5. Same thing as we've done with all the other ones. When I took my pre-image value of x and subtracted 5, it equaled -3. Add 5 to both sides, x equals 2. When I took my pre-image y value and added 4, it equaled -5. Subtract 4 from both sides, y equals -9. So point D was 2, -9. 2, sorry, -9. That is the end of this lesson of going from the pre-image, or sorry, going from the image to the pre-image.